Agyei in a separate court, then Sammy Gyamfi in a separate court. They are all not together. There's Gyamfi say good morning to. Let's go and speak to Dr. Tony Aidoo. Doc, good morning, and I hope you're well.
Good morning, Senator. I'm fine, thank you.
Well, first, let's start with your reaction to Afenyo Markin's suit that has been filed in court. He's seeking 50 million cedis in damages once a retraction and apology, given the same prominence as the one that was done, I think, on Joy News. What do you think?
Well, Sammy Gyamfi threw down the gauntlet, and apparently, Afenyo Markin has picked up the fight. There are very interesting times ahead. And I think the social media probably licking its lips for scandalous stories of this nature. The question I ask myself is Afenyo Markin resorting to tactical style meeting of the whole process, from going into investigation by mounting a writ of defamation against Sammy Gyamfi and associates? And would Sammy Gyamfi be so reckless as to make an allegation of extortion without evidence? So now the first time I heard about this story was on Black Rasta's program, which appears on TikTok. And he actually put a number to the amount of money involved. Then I begin to wonder, why is Black Rasta not a defendant in the writ? Because if you can see Agyei on Peace FM for repeating what Sammy Gyamfi said, what about Black Rasta, who actually put a name or a number to the amount of money involved? That's why I said, is this a tactical move by Afenyo Markin to stymie the whole process of investigation? Because if the case is in court, you have to deal with the principle of sub judice. Sub judice occurs not only in criminal cases, but also in civil matters as well. In any case, why did he use Parliament as a platform to announce his filing of writs? This is a private matter. So why go the whole hog of using the opportunity offered you to respond to the Speaker's welcome message to announce that you have filed 2 writs against Sammy Gyamfi and Agyei? Why was it necessary? Playing to the gallery, of course. And playing to the gallery in the name of politics. The man has political savvy, I must admit. But then, as he himself said, there are times when you cross the political red line. And he has crossed the political red line several times by thinking that Ghanaians will be so stupid, so dense, so unintelligent as to vote back into power a party that destroyed the whole economy, piled up debts. He's talking about $1.7 billion or 22 billion that has been lost. Whether it's a loss or economic cost, that's a debatable issue. But he's prepared to go the whole world to talk about it and expecting Ghanaians to forget 8 years of total rampage that members of the NPP, individuals, from the president down to the messenger, ripped this country off. Everywhere you look, Ghanaian economy, Ghanaian society was a crime scene. Why? I believe that in as much as Ghanaians have short memory, 8 years is not long enough for Ghanaians to forget the way Akufo-Addo and his gang of thieves came to steal us dry, including total destruction of state property, digging a hole for $97 million or so, a whole hole, the most expensive hole in the world, plus destruction of other people's property, for which the state must bear compensation payments. Why? Why does it think the party can come to power in 2028? Ghanaians cannot be that stupid. They cannot be such fools. Even though I must admit that increasingly corruption has become institutionalized, but not institutionalized to the extent that Ghanaians are so daft that they cannot recognize a criminal from a honest person. It's an insult for the MPP to think that all they have to do is unite and fight for 2028 and they will win the presidency back. This will be the greatest insult of Ghanaians if they are to vote MPP back. It is on this trend that Afenyo Markin has seen every opportunity as a good one to pick to demonize the NDC. And somehow along the line, I think the NDC has made itself vulnerable to this time of politics. But there are so many things that is going wrong. Policies that are halfway. Why build a Kumasi Expressway when you can finish the dual carriageway? Do you need a signature project like that when we can finish and ease the traffic on the Kumasi Accra Road? Why? And what about Galamsey? What are the soldiers doing in our barracks? We pay them, we train them, we pay them and train them to die. Let them go and die to protect our territory. 2 months is all you need and 2 battalions to flush them out of the forest, and you are not doing it. And we are being systematically poisoned. Why?
Look, did you say we pay soldiers to die?
Yes, we do. What did they go to the
To defend.
army for? Yes, to defend. But in the course of defense, you die.
Not always, as much as possible. I think one of the things about
Well,
defense.
we pay them to die.
Interesting. And you seem not to be a big fan of the expressway.
Expressways will ease transaction flow. But this situation of your opponent did this, and so I won't continue. The loss is to Ghanaians. Finish the dual carriage and then start the expressway.
So you think both should be done?
Yes, both should be done. But priority. Matter of priority.
I see. Having said that, it seems Afenyo Markin, while speaking in Parliament, also anticipates the fact that there will be an investigation. He says he's ready to submit to one in which Sammy Gyamfi then files a complaint to any of the authorities about him attempting to extort him. So it seems he even in his mind, his case should not be in the way of an investigation.
That's another bluff. When he goes to this so-called ad hoc committee, which documentary evidence is he going to take there? The report of the World Bank or the IMF or whatever, in that report, how many times is the GoldBod mentioned as a source of loss? And is it actually economic loss or economic cost? These are things that we need clear-cut definitions. There is no businessman who go into transactions without putting something on something. You can't put something on nothing. You go into cost. You get what you want. At what cost? At what benefit? Let's weigh the benefits against the costs and see which one puts Ghana in a better position. Our currency is stabilized. Inflation is very, very way down. Reserves are being built. Sooner or later, the low level of inflation must reflect in real market prices, because a low level of inflation does not necessarily find expression in low market prices. You will only get to low market prices when you disinflate. And disinflation or deflation is the worst policy a country can adopt. What I mean is, you have to go below zero level of inflation before you can see low inflation reflecting in market prices. All these are being done at the cost of what? $1.74 billion dollars, 22 billion. When in their lifetime, 8 years, they raised our national debt from 112 to 760 billion with nothing to show, absolutely nothing to show, except deep holes in the ground. Akufo-Addo should be facing the law by now. I wonder why he's still walking around. All this shows that this democracy has only created a parasitic political class on the society. That's all the advantages that the people of Ghana has got from this democracy. Parasitic political class.
I see. So, is that to suggest that you are not big on even the Aidoo committee that the speaker says he intends to agree to?
There are standing committees in Parliament. You can summon, each of them can summon Sammy Gyamfi. And if he has fresh evidence of a criminal nature, you should take it to the police. Just like he has picked up the gauntlet to go to the civil court.
Mm. But do you think, and to land on this, do you think that the case is filed should deter any institution from investigating the matter?
There's a possibility that constitutional bodies will be shy to touch a matter that is in court, even though the Special Prosecutor's Office has expressed interest. I think this special prosecutor is a fifth columnist, strategically placed to thwart any serious investigation.
A fifth columnist?
Yes. Look at the Oforiatta case, the way he messed up. Do you think it was bad accident that Oforiatta fled the country? I don't think so. His own behavior, the special prosecutor's own behavior, let out the lie that they are not serious. That office is not a serious office.
A fifth columnist working in whose interest?
In the interest of those who are milking the country dry, the political class, those who steal with impunity.
Doc, thank you. Thank you for speaking to us.
You are most welcome.
Dr. Tony Aidoo is former Ghana ambassador to the Netherlands. He's been in politics for a long while. 46 minutes past 8 here in the studios of Radio Gold 90.5 FM. There are, okay, I think I've already gone through Solomon's comments. Whilst I was at it, the aspiring executive member for the NDC in Ayawaso East constituency, Masola Pabli, says Afenyo Markin's so-called raid against Sammy, Gyamfi and Agyei is just a face-saving gimmick to deceive us, but he won't succeed. I find it laughable anytime I see him trying to play smart on people because all his antics are too basic to some of us. That is coming from Masola Pabli. I always love to listen to the submissions of issues by Dr. Tony Aidoo. There's Komblaganya. Says, I hope Mr. Relationships will not step in to ask Sammy to let sleeping dog lie. Nob Akufo says, Honorable Inus Afuseni, splendid submission once again. Always a breath of fresh air, listening to wonderful brains. Good morning to you all, and of course to lawyer Edwiji. Godwin Time. Anyway, those are some of the comments you are sharing with us. Very interesting. Always interesting speaking to lawyer Tony. I nearly called him. I called him lawyer Tony Aidoo. Yes. He did do. He was telling me the story about how he actually did. He has an LLB.
Okay.
I think from the UK. So he attempted to do the professional course here in Ghana, and impediments were put in his way. In fact, he even went to court over it. But he said, even though he won, at the end of the day, he was too exhausted to even continue again. So he ended up not doing the professional course. So he actually earned an LLB from the UK. The one sometimes when you're talking, he'll tell you that I didn't go to any of your schools. Anyway, we'll take a break. We'll be back.
Admissions.